Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament broadcast. This is Nightcat and I will be your host again today. Today's broadcast, we're going to be looking at the second half of the round 1 winners bracket here, where we're going to have Monster up against Microwave, then Ironbot up against Purple Wave, Banana Breen up against Willie T, and finally Dragon up against Chris Cokes. Once we have reached the conclusion of all 4 of these matches, we will have the full losers round 1 determined, as well as the winners round 2. And so the next broadcast would be the losers round 1. So we've got a lot of exciting games here. The other half of the top 16 field. So let's go ahead and just dive right into our first game. So starting us off with the first matchup here, we have Microwave spawning as the brown Zerg down at the bottom of Python, and then another close spawn Python situation, we have Monster spawning as the blue Zerg, just a little over to the left and up just a little bit. So we've got ourselves a Zerg versus Zerg here for the first matchup, first game. Zerg versus Zerg can be one of those matchups where it either goes relatively quick or it takes a relatively long time. Always exciting though when you get like stuff like Defiler and Devourers out in Zerg vs Zerg. We'll see how these two choose to play. It looks like they're doing very similar builds. The spawning pool for Microwave being maybe just a tiny bit faster. Looks like gas, drone, yep, they're pretty much up. Maybe an extra drone? Oh, okay, maybe just a little bit early on that drone. Looks like Microwave, is out scouting while I don't think Monster is, so that might have been why the drone was able to be out just a little bit faster, but the 3 lings are on the way for both sides here, so we're seeing pretty much mirror builds here, although now we've got a divergence, or no, okay, we don't. Both are getting Lair, but we have Monster here immediately guarding this ramp, whereas Microwave is more back guarding the building. So with this Lair, I'm expecting that we'll see both of them go for Mutalisks, and it's just interesting too, they have like almost the same army composition. Monster just has a couple more lanes. This is kind of funny to see. We do have a Microwave here going ahead and getting a creep colony, which Monster is not. So as we can see, yeah, Monster able to get that spire up a little bit faster because it did not invest in that creep colony that Microwave did. Microwave continuing to get some Zerglings too. I think that looks like saving up for the spire now. Yeah, getting that spire down about halfway into Monster's spire here. So, and Microwave going ahead and getting that sunken colony. So we'll see if this, with this short distance, and the Monster does find where Microwave is. With the short distance, though, the timing difference on the Spore could be a big deal here, as the Mutalisks are going to be finished right around when this Spire finishes, and that Microwave might actually lose all of their drones before they can even get any defense out, right? And so now the Mutalisks are started, and here come the Mutalisks for Monster. Interestingly, they just take a single swipe and then back out. And decide to go after the Overlord in the base instead of going, and they don't even kill it, and now they're going back in, okay. Interesting choice there to just damage that Overlord to the point of near death and then go ahead and run out. So now we have first Mutalisk going on here. And it looks like the control for Monster is just a little too much. Might have had a little bit of superiority in numbers too. Now all the Zerglings join in, and all of these Zerglings for Microwave fall. Tries to get a hatchery, which you really don't want to do while you're being pressured like this. But yeah, it looks like Monster is going to take game 1 here. And it's interesting, it's just like the little things that gave it to Monster, right? The additional creep colony into sunken colony here just costing Microwave a little bit, causing that spire to just be like half a spire later, and then just not having the numbers. But even then, Monster almost gave Microwave a chance here in this first game when it backed off. But with that, Monster's going to take game 1 of this matchup. We'll go ahead and go into game 2 now. Jumping into game 2 here, we have Microwave spawning as the red Zerg up at the top of Icarus. And over in the mid left here, we have Monster spawning as the hero rescuable Teal Zerg. So last game we saw mirror builds from the two. A little bit cleaner execution from Monster, but in the end, I don't think that was what really made the difference. But it might have. CVC is like, sometimes it's just a game of numbers, right? Like, you have 2 more Zerglings, you win the game. Or you have, like, 1 more Mutalisk, you win. Or just, like, it's such a hard game to call. It reminds me a little bit of, like, Terran vs. Terran Vulture Wars, right? Where it's like, well, I mean, you look at 2 armies, you're like, maybe I could win, but then it's like you go in and you attack, it's like, oh, well, they just, you know, they just executed better, and then you're just dead, right? Or something like that. So, you know, it can be very close. It looks like we're seeing mirror builds again from these two. First 6 Zerglings coming out here. Got the lair started for Monster here. They're starting up for Microwave. The drone doing a little dance for the Zerglings there. So Microwave doesn't actually get to see where Monster is, but should know from process of elimination that, having seen that the other start locations were empty. And the Overlord for Monster here, fighting and then just pulling back. So actually not being aggressive this time, so a little bit different. Lair is done, Spire is started, but again with the creep colony here, the Spire is going to be started probably about halfway through Monster's Spire. A little bit faster. Sunken colony started for Microwave. Circling out on the map, scouting around. Now the Spire is going to finish here for Monster. We'll see the 3 larvae here go ahead and morph into Mutalisks. So we're at 16 Zerglings and 14 Zerglings. So Monster did get an extra pair of Zerglings, even though it did not get the full creep colony, sunken colony. And actually now it's going ahead and taking an expansion. Mutalisks are out on the map. There's time, though. The Mutalisks for Microwave hatch. And this is where I was talking about with the Python, the close spawn, the difference there. So even with the slightly later Spire timing, rather, and on this particular map, Microwave had time for the Mutalisks to hatch. So monsters weren't able to get there in time. We've got, right now, it looks like 6 Mutalisks to 4 Mutalisks. So that might actually be the difference here in this game. Yeah, I think this is just a numbers game here, really. Evolution Chamber trying to be started, but... And I'm not sure, it might be the timing of the Spire, just, there was a little bit of a skirmish back here that pulled the Mutalisks back from Monster, but yeah, it might just be a little bit of a numbers game here with the Spire finishing just ever so slightly later. Microwave trying to go for a little bit of a safer build with the Sunken Colony, but it's just costing Microwave the Mutalisk War, essentially, when it has like 2 to 3 less Mutalisks. Monster's Mutalisks just shred through Microwaves just that much faster, so good game from Monster here. Spires, if I could even say the right word, Scourge. That's the right word that starts with S, even joining in there. With that, Monster's going to go up 2-0, Microwave fighting to stay in the winner's bracket. We'll go ahead and jump into Game 3. So, Game 3 has us spawning on Heartbreak Ridge with Microwave, spawning as the red Zerg over on the left side of the map, and Monster spawning as the orange Zerg over on the right side. Looks like the production tab is staying relatively mirrored here right now, so far between these two, so we'll see if we see essentially like a rematch of the same build orders against each other or not. Heartbreak Ridge, a little bit smaller of a map. Overlords just going straight towards each other here. Gonna go ahead and pass about just exactly the middle almost. And they pass by. So we've got the spawning pools coming down, the extractors coming down as well. So far things are pretty much looking to be the same. I just wanted to select the buildings on different sides since you can't do that in actual StarCraft. We've got our first 6 Zerglings on the way for both sides here. Interesting. So difference noted here. Their microwave isn't really doing much with the extra overlords, whereas Monster is. Monster's still exploring with this Zergling. Notice there was no scouting drone this time from Microwave. Probably due to the fact that this is a 2-player map. Player is going to finish a little bit faster here for Monster. And it looks like that creep colony is started again for Microwave here, so that spire is going to come down faster for Monster. Microwave will get the spire down a little bit faster this time, though. I think, at least, it's definitely faster than Game 1. I think Game 2 it might be a little bit faster than that, too, so we'll see if that's enough to make a difference here. Or if the Mutalisk numbers will just be too much. Microwave, really though on the minerals, I don't know if they're going to have enough to really get the... they're also spending right now on an Overlord and on a Zergling, they're spending their larvae, so we'll see. They do have 2 larvae, and it's hard to see how many larvae there actually are. They still just have the 2, they have the 3 larvae now. Yeah, like all this time passing. Okay, there we go. Now they've got their 3 Mutalisks, so it did line up for them, but these Mutalisks are going to be coming out again just about half a Mutalisk faster. Now the Overlord there will fall, which will supply block. I wonder if that supply block is part of the problem too, because now that Microwave has to wait for another Overlord before they can continue their Mutalisk production. There's 4 Mutalisks and 2 Scourge in play. Good control there, taking out the Scourge by Microwave. Just need to move this just a little bit so it doesn't cover the name. If I can get it to move, would be amazing. There we go. So now, ooh, this is interesting. The Mutalisks are missing each other, and the Mutalisks are gonna have free reign here on Monster's drone line. Monster's drones are gonna come in here. And it is 5 to 8 Mutalisk right now, and there is actually a natural expansion up for Monster. The Zerglings of Microwave getting picked off by the Mutalisks of Monster. A macro hatch is on the way, almost complete for Microwave. But that macro hatch is pretty exposed. They do have a spore colony, so they're in a good... Well, they're in a better defensive position this game than they were in the last 2. But yeah, even the Zerglings can get almost free shots off here. Now there's actually 2 swarms, it looks like, for Monster right now. Yeah, some of those are very heavily damaged Mutalisks. Actually, most of them are at this point, whereas Microwaves are mostly fresh Mutalisks without much damage on them. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try and dive again on the main here. Creep Colony has started probably for a Spore. Very, very low drone count right now for Monster, only 6. And yeah, that is going to be morphed into a Spore here. Monster really needs to, oh, they're just getting a creep on up here, right where the mineral drones are. Microwave finds it and is going to dive in and kill some more drones, down to just 1 drone. It's not looking good for Monster right now. Really needs to just drone up, but that's going to give Microwave all the time to do whatever they want to do here, as that Mutalisk count is climbing right now. Microwave fighting to stay in the winner's bracket here, looking to make it 2-1. Monster still holding on a little bit, lost the natural, but it's still just 1 base to 1 base, but it is 2 hatch to 1 hatch. And the Mutalisk numbers 12 to 2. The Mutalisks go down, the Mutalisks take out the 1 Spore. There's actually a 2nd Spore here hidden underneath these Overlords I did not see. but it now goes down as well. Monster goes ahead and gives the GG. Not enough minerals for another drone. Out of drones and out of offensive things, except for a couple of Zerglings. But very well played by Microwave to stay alive in the series and take it to game 4. So let's go ahead and get into that. So game 4 sees us on Roadrunner SE 1.2 with Monster spawning as the white Zerg over in the bottom left, and we have Microwave spawning as the blue Zerg up at the top left. So again, we have sort of close spawns here. They're both on the same side of the map. We don't have something like cross spawn, but really the rush distance in terms of ground hasn't really been playing a factor, as both have been interesting. What is Monster going for here? Going for a 9 pool. Okay, we have some different builds here happening. Oh wait, no, that's a hatchery. Sorry, I got the colors mixed up here. So they're going for a 9 hatch, 9 pool. So a 999, yeah, sometimes, or 998, something like that. Now they're going ahead and getting their Overlord. They're at 8 of 9 supply right now. Okay, we're seeing a different look. So Monster took 2 wins with the same build, and then decides to go ahead and mix it up after taking a loss, whereas Microwave is going ahead with the same build in that it did for games 1 through 3 into game 4. Which, after taking a win, I don't blame it for doing that. You know, might as well stick with what has got you a win. But we'll see, will Monster have anti-air in time? It looks like there's no go for anti-air right now. Microwave has its creep colony for the Sunken. The lair is done, but can't start the Spire just yet, which is given some extra time here to Monster. Monster just building up those Zerglings. There are a large number of them, 22. It's Microwave 11. Microwave just starting its Spire now. Fighting away from the Sunken. Will take care of these Zerglings, though. But needs to pull those drones back. Make sure that you're just protecting this Sunken, basically. Oh no, this could be bad. It keeps pulling and trying to send the drones back, and it's losing all of its drones. Oh, this game was looking promising for Microwave, but just really unfortunate to with the way that it was pulling the drones. It needed the Sunken to fight, but it was fighting like off over here first when it was Zergling for Zergling, and then when it pulled the drones. So the Sunken did get some additional hits. But just, yeah, very unfortunate to lose all of the workers. Microwave having to give the GG over to Monster, taking it 3-1, continuing on to the next round 2 of the winner's bracket, with Microwave dropping down to the round 1 of the loser's bracket. Our second matchup of today is starting off with Purple Wave spawning as the brown Protoss up at the top toward the right of Python. And we've got Ironbot spawning as the teal Terran down over in the bottom left. Interesting mining pathing here for this one, SCV. I'm not sure, and also this one, I'm not sure why they're taking those paths. Perhaps those are slightly optimal paths. It doesn't seem like they would be at first glance. Could be maybe some mining optimizations that are causing it to take that, whether it's intended or not, but rather interesting to see. We do have a scout going out. We've got the wall started for Ironbot, which Ironbot plays somewhat similar to Halo, also known as Halpan. Given that Halpan was a fork of Ironbot, and actually I'm not sure when Ironbot was last updated, but Ironbot always a very solid opponent here. And it's going to poke in. It did find Purple Wave here, and then it's going to go ahead and back out. And just kind of scouting around. Checking out the scene, confirming what is happening. We do have that cord coming down. Pretty far back gateway position here. Interesting positioning there by Purple Wave. We have the Goon on the way, though, with speed, or not speed, sorry, range. being upgraded right now, so Purple Wave gonna get that Dragoon out pretty soon here, and thankfully that pathing, nothing is blocked there, so the Goon able to get out. And we'll chase down this SCV. Purple Wave has found where Ironbot is, but can't get in due to the wall. There's no Marine produced at the moment. So nothing to chase that probe away. We do have the natural coming down. And a tank on the way, so this looks like it will be a siege expand, I'm assuming. Yep, siege mode is on the way. We have second gateway started for Purple Wave here. A third gateway, so I think we're going to probably see like 3 gate obs out of Purple Wave. We have a high ground siege expand being performed here by Ironbot. So pretty standard play from both of these. You don't really see the in-base command center as much these days in human play. Ooh. One shot, and now a sec. Oh, and loses the Dragoon. Not optimal there for Purple Wave to lose that, but that is one of the things that can be kind of hard for AI players is, you know, dancing in and out of that tank range. We'll see if that continues to be an issue for Purple Wave. And with the loss of that Dragoon, this Vulture able to get out pretty easily. Gonna go ahead and find a Zealot actually to sort of fire on. But we'll get chased off by the Dragoons here. There's a second Vulture out now. Mine's almost completed research. Citadel of a Dune started. Actually, the Citadel, there is no robotics facility, so this is not going to be 3-gate Goon. See what Purple Wave is going to do off of that Citadel, leaving themselves open a bit to mines here. The Stargate started, so it's looking like this is going to be 2-base Arbiter, actually. Second gas is now started for Purple Wave. And Purple Wave's actually army positioning kind of interesting here because it does leave a pretty open path here for Vultures to kind of just be able to get up here into this natural. And I'm not sure what these probes are doing. Okay, it looks like Purple Wave choosing to take the bottom right base, which is a bit risky, as once it's discovered by Vultures, there's nothing down there defending it. That there is a Dragoon heading down there now. Oh, and loses the a Dragoon and a couple of probes there. And then gonna lose some of these probes that are in transit. Ironbot under the upgrades right now. +1 weapons just finishing up. +1 plating started. I don't see a starport or a science facility just yet. So I don't think we'll be seeing like a 2-1 push come out of this. But it looks like Ironbot is going to go ahead and push with the +1. The Protoss army is in an interesting position to engage here. Good targeting of the Vultures on the Zealots, but not a lot of damage being able to be done there on the Dragoons, though the Dragoons now forced back into the natural. Ironbot taking control of this middle here. Oh, actually it was a 2-base carrier. I missed the fleet beacon being produced, so instead of Arbiters, we are getting carriers, and there are no Goliaths, it looks like, for Ironbot on the field. Goliaths just being started now. Do we have Charon boosters are on the way now? But the question is, well, I guess it's 3-base carrier, but this 3rd base is getting hammered by these 3 Vultures here. Hanging apart all of the workers that were there and some Zealots that were trying to defend it. Carrier should hold off this push for now, but if Ironbot only has the 3 factories right now going ahead, got the starport, or no, sorry, it has 4 factories, or sorry, 6 factories total with, I said 3 when I was looking at 5, and there's 6, so I just have been saying all the wrong numbers. But now we're getting Goliaths out. Upgrades are still at 1-1 though. The science facility did just finish, so +2 could be started, but Ironbot is a bit low on gas. Really, if Purple Wave could, like, hold this back... Oh, there's a... This is interesting. There's a pylon here in the top left that is preventing a vulture from laying a spider mine, and it's not attacking the pylon. Looks like Ironbot wants to take this main here and has built a couple of turrets while slowly killing the assimilator and the nexus there. But the natural for Purple Wave has fallen. It might not need another expansion, but yeah, it's very, very gas-starved. Just being on the two bases here with Python. Pushing these carriers back, though, and they do have interceptors, but they're not really getting out much here. A couple of Goliaths straying a little bit too far from the main mech army and getting picked off, but yeah, the interceptor count being kept pretty decent, but I don't think there's just 4 probes out on the map for Purple Wave, with the main being overrun. The bottom left just kept getting hit by vultures, and so I think, you know, game 1 is going to go to Ironbot. Good try there by Purple Wave. Good storm there on the tanks and Goliaths, but just, yeah, a lot of, well, not a lot right now, but there are multiple low health mech units there. There's still a decent number of carriers, 6 of them here. But I don't think they're going to be enough to... and there's no observer, it looks like. Yeah, there's no observer out. We've got some cloaked wraiths causing some problems, so... The cloaked wraiths will run out of energy eventually, but they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. Maybe take out a carrier or 2. Or... maybe not quite, but with the help of the Goliaths might be able to put some hurt on these carriers here. Kind of waiting to see what happens. I think it's targeting interceptors as opposed to carriers. So I think I got a number of interceptor kills there, though. Purple Wave still alive for the moment. Just on the 4 workers still. I think it's constantly spending the few minerals that are trickling in on interceptors. There are a lot of turrets for Ironbot, though. Ironbot has another main established. A little bit of repair happening there in the mineral line. Yeah, Ironbot, I know, getting held up on this ramp for right now, but now, okay, it does go ahead and clear that little traffic jam. And I think they're going to be slowly moving out here. Ironbot is just slowly working their way down to this bottom right base here. Killing it off with SCVs too. Well, these carriers are still surprisingly alive, but the interceptor count is dropping. And there's no income to replace them, so this will be game 1 for Ironbot here. Archives goes down, and now the Forge is going to be going down. Finally, the Nexus. Oh, wait. There's still this pylon up here. Purple Wave's still alive for right now. There's another pylon over here. There's also one up here. So Purple Wave's threw a lot of pylons up to sort of block expansions, which is pretty interesting. Well, that is a lot of Goliaths back home. Why are there so many Goliaths? Or they must be traffic jammed or something. Got 4 interceptors left right now for the carriers. And now the pylon up at the top left gets eliminated. That vulture is free to finally lay its mine. Ironbot goes up 1-0. We're on to game 2. Game 2 here, we have ourselves with Ironbot spawning as the White Terran down on the bottom left of Circuit Breakers, going up against Purple Wave, spawning as the Brown Protoss up at the top right. Interesting little factoid about this map is it appears in the Season 10 ladder folder for Remaster, but it's not actually an official ladder map for Season 10, so kind of funny there. Just be careful if you are trying to play practice games on ladder maps that you don't choose Circuit Breakers. Or if you're playing in a league who has the map set to be the ladder map, so you don't want to use Circuit Breakers because it's not actually a ladder map, even though it's in the ladder folder. But here we do see a difference from this game compared to last game. Ironbot is not going for a wall, instead electing to set up the barracks by the gas here in the command center. So I think we will be seeing a different build from Ironbot. I don't know if that is because there is no, or like this can't really be walled, or if there are other reasons for it, or this is really wide, so I don't think you can do a 3-building wall here. As Terran, and I really don't know about walling on this particular spawn and or map, so there could be a multitude of reasons for Ironbot to do this. Not even getting a Marine, just going straight into the factory here. And we've got 1 Dragoon out on the map right now. Templar Archives started, so trying to keep that scout out. And the Templar Archives is very forwardly placed though, but might be able to keep the Dark Templar tech a bit secret here. Still making the command center on the high ground. Oh no, the SCV does get in. The Templar Archives is seen in engineering bays, immediately started. Oh man. If that Templar Archives did not get spotted by the SCV scout, the Dark Templar might have worked with the Dragoon, abandoned its post, and decided to dive in here just as the tank finishes. Gonna be able to kill this building. Oh no, okay, the SCV actually does manage to stay alive, and the tank comes up in time to go ahead and push the Dragoon out. Dark Templar is out, and instead of rushing into the opponent's base, it actually chases the scout SCV. Looks like a little bit afraid to go ahead and take the natural. Decent turret coverage in the main, perhaps more than you really should need to defend against the Dark Templar, but we have the vultures out. Mines are almost complete, which mines can detect and react to Dark Templar. Actually, I don't know where the Dark Templar is right now. Okay, it's right there in the main. And it does find a spot where it can deal some damage to the tank, and oh, can it stay alive? It does manage to stay alive. Another turret going down to try and give vision. The Dark Templar just managing to stay out of that vision range. There is a second Dark Templar here. It's kind of almost wondering that first one did wander in a little bit too far. But it does, the Dark Templar plague does get thwarted. And temporarily, Purple Wave able to slow this this natural down, but the tank should be able to sort of push the Dragoons back, but it's not exactly going to be easy because there is a pocket there where they can hide, but they don't want to just get trapped there as well and get wiped out, so they do allow the natural to land now, but it is significantly delayed. We have High Templar out on the field now, an Arbiter Tribunal, so it's Dark Templar opening is transitioning into 2-base Arbiter play. Psystorm is researched, so we could see some storms come down here. Looks like Ironbot is just working to get this natural ready and established here. Meanwhile, for their third, Purple Wave is going ahead and taking another natural here, or another main base here. It's a pretty good move. It will give them more space to sort of fill with macro buildings to be able to quickly remax if needed. Those three vultures just picking apart those zealots. Meanwhile, at the front is the majority of Purple Wave's army, but Purple Wave's supply is still pretty decently ahead of Ironbot, but Ironbot catching up slowly here. The vultures kind of being pushed back, but yet these zealots just not able to deal with the vultures and having to fall back here. And I don't know what it is. Purple Wave's army just feels really light here. Only 7 dragoons, like 20 zealots. But here we have a dive onto the Terran army with the Arbiter as well. Oh, mine's doing damage to the tanks. Looks like Purple Wave able to push back Ironbot's army at the moment. Still keeping the numbers around where they were at the start of that engagement. And Ironbot's supply is really low too. That's one thing I've noticed a lot with the AIs, especially the Terran ones, is they tend to be very aggressive and with low supply, right? Because a lot of times in like you know, Terran match, well, Terran versus Protoss, you might be waiting for like, you know, your 2-1 before you push, or like a 3-2, 200-200 push sort of play. But a lot of the AIs are just like, you know what, I've got army, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to posture aggressively. Oh, the Spines actually got trapped by the tank and then went ahead and gave up chasing their prey. Got Wraith on the field now. Yeah, I don't know if Ironbot is... Ironbot's got full constats, but it is not using them up against the Oaked army here. It looks like they're just trying to retreat into the mines and use the mines against Purple Wave's army. Purple Wave actually behind on bases right now. Just getting its 4th built here. A lot of SCVs and vultures kind of out on the map here. Vultures, very, very good control. Very good at picking off those zealots. Yeah, Purple Wave might be in trouble here if they can't... They can't stay up a base to Ironbot, but they are sort of diving on these bases here, but the army a little bit distracted by Ironbot's army, which is very vulture heavy, it looks like, which, yeah, I think that's part of Ironbot's problem right now, is it's only got 2 tanks and 15 vultures. It looks like it's only producing a single tank at a time here, and that's partly because its minerals are so low. It only has 47 workers. Which is a relatively low worker count for 4 bases and this far into the game. But there's so many vultures just picking apart these zealots. We've got more High Templar on the way, but I think they're just being used to produce Archons at this point here. But then there are 6 Templar out on the field somewhere. Yeah, I think Purple Wave is going to run away with this game though. Just looking at it here... Yeah, Ironbot's still just 1 tank, really not able to get the tank count up. But Purple Wave is also very zealot heavy, and so the vultures do favor trading better with in the open up against zealots. I have a Goliath in the army now, trying to be like a small answer to the Arbiters that are out. Mine's going off and hurting Purple Wave's army a bit there. Looks like the game ends mid-battle here. So this could be a timeout on Purple Wave's part. The replay is from Ironbot's perspective, as we can see on the mini-map that Purple Wave's units have gone blue. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, so to sort of determine the result of this game, I'm going to have to take a look at the official results to see what this game was scored as, and I will let you know once we start up Game 3. Jumping into Game 3 here between these two, we have Purple Wave spawning as the orange Protoss over on the right of Icarus, and Ironbot getting the lower right spawn as the Teal Terran. And after reviewing the results from this matchup, the second game did indeed go to Ironbot. So Purple Wave is now fighting to stay in the winner's bracket to get to the 2-1 Game 4 match, while Ironbot is looking to seal the deal here and grab a win to go 3-0 into the next round. Looks like Ironbot will be doing well this time, setting up the first supply depot there, throwing down the barracks, and then soon there will most likely be another depot here to complete the wall. Meanwhile, Purple Wave is throwing down the simulator now, as the probe's all ready to start mining, gets down the core. It looks like the gate and core are back toward the back of the base again. Scouting SCV going out for Ironbot. Scouting probe out a little bit later than the SCV for Purple Wave. Purple Wave now throwing down a second pylon, getting their second gateway. Factory started up for Ironbot here. Lifts and lands the barracks, allowing the probe to get in, which will attempt to do some harass against the SCV that is building the factory, but there is an SCV hot on its tails that is really pushing it back, not letting it get that SCV. It's actually taking a lot of damage here, but is managing to stay alive. Drone, meanwhile, chasing off the scout. Looks like we have another fast citadel from Purple Wave, so it looks like this will be a DT opener. Command center started on the high ground tank. Notice this time though that, or maybe it's not quite as fast, because it was around this time in the last game where the engineering bay was thrown down like immediately, right? So a little bit slower of a Dark Templar, but I think because of that, it does not get scouted, because we did go the 2 gates, I think, instead of maybe the 1 gate that was had, or maybe there were 2 gates, and I'm just misremembering the timing a little bit, but it seems like it's a little bit slower. The engineering bay, though, is getting started for Ironbot, perhaps because it didn't get that good of a scout. It knows that DTs are still a possibility. Should have enough time to get a turret up in the main, but it doesn't seem to be building one. Just okay, now it is throwing one down in the main. Dark Templars are on the way. The natural being taken, but there's no turret being thrown down at the natural. There is no academy, so there are no comsats. Diving in with the Dragoons when it really doesn't need to, and now there is an engineering bay. Yeah, these Dark Templars are just gonna have the time of their lives here. The turret is started. Dark Templar not focusing it down, or the SCV. Okay, there we go. Does force a cancel on the one there. The other Dark Templar chased a Marine off into the middle of the map, but now returns back. But this turret does finish. But the DTs still have a pretty wide range of space that they can play with here. One does go up into the main. Gonna go ahead and try and pick off these depots here. Looks like mines are not researched yet, which is going to be a bit of a problem here for Ironbot. The Dark Templar, they're doing a good job of staying out of the range of the turrets. The turrets pretty well placed in the main for coverage to stop the Dark Templar from really harassing much of anything. The turret in the natural is pretty good, but they're able to dive in on the turret. They realized there was nothing around to defend it, so they're able to do that dive in there and really deal some damage. There's still no up mines, just getting started now, so there are a couple of vultures out on the map. They're going to pick off this not quite getting that Templar picked off, but yeah, these Dark Templar are causing quite the problem here. They could probably even dive in and take out this turret, I feel like. There's just the one Marine, actually, yeah, they're going to do the dive now. And take out both turrets. There's first turret they took out, though, was rebuilt. SCV's trying to desperately rebuild it, being forced to cancel. If not, just them being flat out killed. Comsats are on the way now, though. But these Dark Templar are doing tons of damage. Just 27 workers for Ironbot here. And the army is just growing. Look at the supply difference here. 115 to 35 supply. When the Dark Templar get into your base as Terran, it is not a good time for you. Especially if you leave those turrets without any sort of guard to protect them, and they're able to just dive in on them. Dark Templar are just tearing apart what they can. A lot of minerals being spent trying to put up turrets in the same spots, just not able to do so because of the immediate reaction of these Dark Templar. Looks like some chasing of vultures. Ooh, that mine didn't... I don't think that mine quite went off, and now a dive into the natural here. There should be plenty enough here to clean up this natural. Even the tank on the high ground, not enough to hold this back. Going after the Comsat station as well. At least one of the DTs is still alive somewhere. Oh, there it is. Taking out the turret. And with this, the natural falls for Ironbot. There's one worker. Purple Wave taking it to game 4. Taking the score to 2-1 with a very well executed DT attack there. Where Ironbot just did not have a natural turret. The DTs were able to cause some problems there and then sneak into the main. And Ironbot just did not handle the Dark Templars in the main very well. The whole army chasing this one vulture now, and now coming back in to clean up what's left of the main here. And we'll see what map we get for game 4. There is something left. Oh. It was the refinery. And so game 4 finds us on destination with Ironbot spawning as the Green Terran up at the top of the map, and we have Purple Wave spawning as the Purple Protoss down at the bottom of destination now. Purple Wave was able to stay alive in this matchup, going 2-1. Yeah, it looks like we might have a forward gate here from Purple Wave. So I don't think we'll see DT play this time, which has not worked in one game and worked in another game. So Purple Wave looks to be trying a different strategy here. Ironbot looks to be doing the same thing, where it's going to go ahead and wall off at the top of the ramp here. And then do that siege expand. And we do have a forward gate here down in the natural. Warping in, just about to finish. And now Zealots are beginning, so it looks like there will be an attempt at some Zealot pressure here. First Zealot is out on the map now. Let's see, does it focus on this SCV? Nope, it's going to go right by the SCV. And continue while a second Zealot is being made. Core, a third Zealot now being made, but the wall is up. And so the Zealots really aren't going to be able to get in there, unfortunately. And without applying any pressure, this is a relatively long distance for slow Zealots to have to cross, and they attack the highest HP building. They are trying to apply some pressure. They are forcing 2 SCVs to come here and repair it. Actually, I don't know if these Marines can actually get within range of these Zealots. Now a third Zealot comes in to start hammering on this, but a tank is on the way, and the tank should be able to hit these Zealots and start to chase them back there. We do get a shot or 2 off from a Marine, so they could be there dealing damage, but it looks like they're just not quite doing it. They're just being a little too dancy there to really get the pressure applied, and then once a tank comes out, the Zealots are going to go ahead and back off. So the wall does stay up and hold. Well, Purple Wave is just going to go ahead and take their natural behind this. They've got their 2 gateways, they've got their core, they're getting their 3rd gateway, so it looks like we will see a 3-gate play here. Similar to what we saw in the first game, but we'll see if it's going to be Obs, is it going to be Carriers, is it going to be Arbiter. There's a lot of choices that Purple Wave could go for here. Ironbot wants to take the natural, but not feeling comfortable just yet to lift the wall. These Dragoons could be taking free shots, though, on this command center, but they're just allowing it to float freely above where it wants to land. And Ironbot just... Nope, it does get to land, and that's when Ironbot goes ahead and lifts the wall, so... With that, it looks like Ironbot is going to push Purple Wave back across the bridges here. And now we have the dance with the Purple Wave army and the vultures happening in about the middle of the map here. Purple Wave doing a good job with its army positioning, though, of keeping those vultures from really getting to Purple Wave's side of the map. Now we have that pylon building, probe going around to the different bases, building a pylon at each one to keep tabs on it, make sure that Ironbot can't just freely expand without sending at least a little bit of army over there to kill it, or to kill the pylon. Ooh, the probe just barely lives. And gets to place yet another pylon at a base here. Looks like we have the Templar Archives finishing up and the robotics facility at about the same time, so no desire for observers at the moment for Purple Wave. Okay, Observatory is on the way now. We have High Templar coming out. Yeah, there is no Stargate, so no Arbiter tech just yet. But Ironbot's army is pushing Purple Wave's army back here. It is a bit more goon heavy than it has been in the past. Storm going off there on a few of the SCVs that are pushing forward here with this army. I feel like Purple Wave could dive onto this tank army with these zealots, but the tank's wisely not sieging at the moment, trying to kite these zealots. Yeah, at least this forward part of the army getting pushed back by Purple Wave. Dealing some good damage there, keeping the army count here pretty high. Supply count pretty far ahead here for Purple Wave. Ooh, and that Zealot getting picked off there by mines. Yeah, pretty tank-light army. I mean, there are 2 factories that can produce tanks, but they're just producing vultures right now. There is another tank being produced, but I think it's just in response to tank getting killed. And I mean, the vultures are doing a good job with the zealot part of Purple Wave's army comp, but there's still a lot of dragoons here and not many tanks. There's a few Archons out now for Purple Wave. Purple Wave really just holding back the forces of Ironbot here. Looking to take it to 2-2. Can Purple Wave do it? Ironbot doing some repairs, trying to clear this pylon out here to take a 4th base, has its 3rd established. Purple Wave just on 3 bases, getting its 4th up now. Maybe a little bit late. I think I've said earlier in the cast, you do want to be up 1 base at least as Protoss against Terran. It looks like Ironbot starting to push back against Purple Wave here, but still Purple Wave very zealot heavy. Ironbot very tank light here. A lot of mines down, but there are observers out on the field. Some scans going down, some wraiths trying to see if they can pick off those observers. A couple of Goliaths out on the field now too, and there's a small tank force. Actually, almost all of the tanks for Ironbot are here. There's just one somewhere else that have made it to this front spot here. And, oh no, these probes getting caught by the tanks. And now these tanks starting to shell a little bit in the main here. And yeah, Ironbot is looking like they're taking more and more of a commanding lead in this game, taking control of the middle ground here. Purple Wave trying to fight this force back. And doing a pretty good job of fighting it off of the natural bridge choke there. Yeah, one of the challenges for this bot for this map for Protoss is that there really isn't a good spot to throw down gateways in another main. So if this gets entrenched here, it can be really hard to get your army out. Purple Wave is mining out this back, well, was mining out this back door, but it looks like it's having some issues with doing so. I think the probes are wanting to return either to this main mineral or this main nexus or this one here. And Purple Wave seems to be fizzling out a little bit here. The army numbers, they're still really high on the Zealots, but starting to fall on the Dragoons. There is another Arbiter out on the field, but there are science vessels out now, providing vision for Ironbot. Yeah, Ironbot getting back onto the double bridge choke here with its tanks. Being pushed back a little bit, but there's really nothing... There's not much on the other side of this choke here, army-wise. Vulture's now getting over to this left base, starting to pick off probes. The other base here, pretty probe-free. The Nexus is thrown down here, but these probes are not wanting to return to this particular Nexus, so this is still being left open. These probes panicking because there are Vultures in the natural now, not able to get to where they want to go, I suspect, and this natural is quickly being overrun by Ironbot. Meanwhile, Ironbot taking over the rest of the map, has its left base, takes the back pocket base here, doesn't mine this out for themselves. How many factories are they on right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factories it looks like? 8, 9, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 factories, yep. 4 armories going here, so air upgrades are being spun up as well to support those wraiths. And it looks like now Ironbot marching up into the main. Stasis is researched, but stasis not being used at the moment. I think these arbiters might not have the energy for it. A lot of storms going down here, but I think it's a little too late here in this main. Ironbot going ahead and cleaning up the main here. Looks like Ironbot will be moving on to round 2 of the winner's bracket, taking this matchup 3-1. And I believe that means that Ironbot will be going up against Monster, with Purple Wave dropping down into the loser's bracket. I think going up against Microwave, but we'll double check the brackets and how those are working out once we get through all of the matchups here. So now here we see the switching of targets that we've seen from Palpan. And all the buildings just kind of fall at once. There is still a few bit here. Oh, there's the Arbiter tech. That's still alive at the moment. But yeah, the army just needs to march down this ramp and over to the left here. And then just clear out. There's one cannon, so the Wraiths, the paper planes of the Terran army, need to be a little bit careful of that. But the tanks clean it up. The Wraith pilots can stop being dizzy from their dancing. And Purple Wave is still alive because of this pylon here. Which looks green on the minimap. I think there's a mine or something nearby. Yeah, there was a mine that was hiding it from me on the minimap. Oh, and there's another pylon here that needs to be cleaned up. So good job on Ironbot finding those. And we will move on to our next matchup. In our third matchup for today, we have Willie T spawning as the Orange Terran over in the bottom left of Circuit Breakers, going up against Banana Brain spawning as the Purple Protoss up at the top left of the map here. So it looks like a very quick probe scout from Banana Brain, even pre-pylon. Going ahead and doing a cross scout here. Oh, it looks like we're going to have a proxy, which actually, I think I remember like a game from last year's tournament where Banana Brain did like a proxy on Roadrunner. And had like 4 gateways, I think it was proxied in a spot. I seem to remember by the end, I think there were 4, or maybe it was just 2, but pretty decent guess here by Banana Brain on where to put this proxy, but it is going to miss. Willie T going ahead and checking in. Yes, Banana Brain checks the main here and sees that Willie T is not there. This proxy, though, could still play strong because it's basically as if it's coming from the natural here. Right? It's kind of like 2 forward gates. Well, maybe not quite the natural rate. It's going to be a little bit closer because it is at this mineral only. But Banana Brain has determined where Willie T is. Willie T is going for that. Is actually going for a gasless expand, which I think is going to struggle against these proxied gateways. And hopefully Willie T knows that something is up, given that it's got the full scout there and doesn't see anything. This bunker, oh, not quite getting finished. Really unfortunate. Now that bunker is going to get torn down. Now there are Marines and SCVs having to be pulled to fight here. And a lot of workers being lost for Willie T. But the worker difference is not that far off thanks to the this being a one-based play from Banana Brain. A couple of hits, or actually I think it's just 1 hit. I think it takes like 3 hits for Zealot to kill a Marine. So the situation is, oh, a lot of work. Down to 4 workers now, actually. Now down to 1. I'm not sure what happened with the workers there. I mean, like, all of a sudden just was not producing workers and didn't have the minerals for it. If Willie T had kept the mining up, I think they're okay. You know, maybe you have to lift this, but like, yeah, I mean, also going with the gasless expand there and then 2 barracks and just not being able to produce out of them. And it's really unfortunate that that bunker didn't get finished. I mean, I think there still would have been a little too many zealots there for the bunker to handle. But yeah, the proxy gateways are going to win this for Banana Brain. But just to show that it's not all in, Banana Brain is transitioning to, you know, taking the natural. So nicely executed rush play there by Banana Brain. Taking a quick lead, going 1-0 in the series. And Game 2 will see us on Jade 1.0. We've got Banana Brain spawning as the brown Protoss up at the top right, and we've already got the probe heading out, probably to this base here, I imagine, to place, looks like going with the proxy gate strategy again. Actually just putting them down in the natural here. Yep, gonna go ahead and just toss them in the natural this base here. Would be kind of interesting if Willie T had been at this base. How would Willie T react to that? And we have Willie T spawning as the yellow Terran instead down in the bottom right. So this is probably features, and actually the proxy gateways are being seen by Willie T here. So Willie T is aware that those are there. Banana Brain is going to go ahead and scout the correct base this time. It looks like Willie T going for the double barracks again. So it looks like they're going to go for that bio play, going ahead and This time throwing the bunker up in the main here. So it will be quicker to repair that bunker, but it's going to be hard to push out, right? Because it's going to have to push uphill up this reverse ramp, since Jade does have like the low ground main with the high ground natural. Meanwhile, Willie T has located where the main is for Banana Brain. First couple of zealots are out. There are more Marines this time since Willie T is going with a one base play of their own. They're getting their academy up so that they can go ahead and get the medics and the Marine upgrades most likely. And Willie T might have a chance to push this back here if they can get like a push going with this bio before there's any splash damage out. No upgrades just yet coming out of the academy. It looks like the zealots are going to charge in here, but there's not a whole lot of space for these Marines to kite. They're trying to kite into the mineral line here, but there is just a lot of zealots, but they are going to handle this. Took a little bit of damage. The worker count is maybe a little bit low now for Willie T, just 16. Does have a fire bat to help combat zealots. But now the core is about to finish a third gateway coming up online back at the home for Banana Brain, so we should see up Dragoon production. Just starts up now. Looks like Willie T gonna go ahead and try to push. Getting some good splash damage there with those fire bats. Looks like they are going to charge the proxy gates here. The zealots trying to get on top of this Bioforce, but this Bioforce kind of pushing it back, and the Marines, there are enough of them to deal with the Dragoons that have popped, so Willie T might be able to actually push this all the way back to the gates and clean up these proxy gates here. Banana Brain's gonna have to try and make a stand at some point here. Yeah, nice with the SCVs in the front. The sort of like body block for the bio. Now the bio cleaning up these proxy gates, so very nicely done there. And now 3 gateways being thrown down in the main in response to that, but the Bioforce is now quickly just moving across the map trying to get here, and hopefully coalesces into more of a ball before it actually engages with the okay, good, it is kind of starting to form a ball here. Now we have the bio marching in here. Just gonna try and get everything selected here so we can see the health bars of this bio, with more bio flooding in. Tanks starting to be produced here. Probe's trying to be pulled, but the fire bat with the medics prioritizing healing them, doing a great job there. Medic energy though is starting to get a little bit low. We do have a siege tank firing on. And oh no, but the bio is... Why is the bio returning home? No! I feel like if this force had kept applying pressure to Banana Brain, like that would have been the game, but Banana Brain's able to stay in. Still pretty damaged though. Willie T is ahead, but definitely giving Banana Brain a chance to come back here. Just the one tank right now, getting a second tank. There's a Vulture out as well. Willie T doing a couple of expansions here. Okay, so yeah, taking the natural and going ahead and taking this third base over here. Banana Brain now venturing out, still just on the one base, but with 5 gateways. It looks like Banana Brain is pretty much going all in here and not going for an expansion. It is getting the robotics facility bay though, so I am worried about how effective this bio is going to be able to be. And now, okay, oof, that pickoff of that tank is going to hurt Willie T's army. Willie T's holding back a little bit now, not wanting to get too far away from the one tank that did survive this. Now pushing back in, the robotics facility is complete. Now will a bay be made? No, it's an observatory, which I think is a mistake here from Banana Brain. It really should be, you know, going for that Reaver tech to deal with this bio, but now the bio is able to lock in. Tanks are here. There's 3 tanks that are going to be able to come down the ramp. Siege and Banana Brain is just being a little bit too afraid to engage here, but really I think the army that's here can handle this. Tanks prioritizing those Dragoons there. And yeah, with that, the final army unit there falling for Banana Brain. Trying to pull some probes, did get a shuttle out. Actually, that's interesting that it went for a shuttle. I guess, I mean, it could drop Zealots on top of the tank, so shuttle still has some use without the Reaver, but... With this Willie T striking back after the proxy gates, 3 bases up, a lot of stim pack use going on here. And Willie T tying the series up 1-1. We're going into a non-deciding game 3 here. So game 3 here sees us on Roadrunner. With the score tied 1-1, we've got Willie T spawning as the blue Terran down at the bottom right base, and we have Banana Brain spawning as the brown Protoss up at the top left, and it looks like there is a probe again going across, so this is going to be a proxy gate again, and this time we're going to see what happens when it's in Willie T's face here. This time they are getting the cross spawn, and Banana Brain is going to place the gates right in Willie T's natural, but Willie T showed that they are pretty good at handling this with just some one base bio play. But the Zealots don't have far to go to get to Willie T's base, so we'll see how Willie T handles this here. Not pulling anything to try and bother with these gates, just going ahead, throwing down 1 barracks, throwing down a 2nd barracks now. And the gateway finishes before even the first Rax is out. Okay, Marine is on the way. Bunker is started. We'll see. It looks like Banana Brain is going to wait for the 3 Zealots, so the bunker has time to finish here in the natural, or sorry, in the main rather. I don't think there's anything in it just yet. They are chasing after the probe scout. Selected like everything down at the bottom, which is really annoying. Unless they got it fixed. But the 4 Zealots now in the main, going right after the workers, running right past the bunker. So perhaps not the best placed bunker. The Zealots are able to just clean up all of the workers, except for 2. One of which is the scout, and so yeah, with that, game 3 is going to be a wrap with Banana Brain going 2-1, and we'll be going into game 4, the deciding match here, as the Zealots clean up. So it looks like it was very effective attack when the proxy gateways are right in the natural of Willie T. Perhaps a little bit of reservation there because of the bunker, but we can tell that there is nothing in the bunker due to the lack of bullets. So now Banana Brain going ahead and charging into this last structure here, and we will get ourselves into game 4. So game 4 has us on Icarus, with Willie T spawning as the brown Terran in the top left position, going up against Banana Brain spawning as the purple Protoss down in, or over in the like upper right position. It looks like the non-cross spawns will slightly disfavor Willie T here, as the base that is being chosen is the natural of the base here, which is still a little bit closer to Willie T, but is not in Willie T's face. So Willie T, I think we'll have a little bit more time to build a little bit more forces, and we'll see if Willie T catches this or not. Looks like they are going ahead and scouting towards the proxy gateways here, so they do indeed find the proxy, and I expect we are going to see 1 base play again from Willie T here, as the gateways finish up. And now Banana Brain, by process of elimination, has determined where Willie T is. We have the bunker going down. The bunker, though, again, it could easily be run past. So Willie T is really just going to have to, like, minimize worker loss here. And it's cut workers. Or no, sorry, that's Banana Brain. But I mean, that's not flashy, so yeah. Seems like Willie T is cutting workers at 15. It's got the minerals. I would love to see it continue to pump out workers. Okay, now it is starting to make workers again here. Mainly just because I'm worried about it losing workers to these zealots, especially if they just run by here. There's a lot of Marines in that bunker. Brian, it needs to unload, and they reload because of that particular zealot. But yeah, losing some workers here, but really needs to minimize those losses. I think it has a chance to come out okay here. But it needs to keep at least a few SCVs mining here. Okay, it does clean up those zealots. There are a couple. There's one more on the way. I don't think the cybernet. Okay, the cybernetics core did finish. We have dragoons now on the way, and medics and fire bats. So the army for Willie T is a little bit small. It's just this right here, but Willie T is looking to be pretty okay. I think has the opportunity to stabilize here. Needs to get some more Marines, though, because Dragoons are on the way. But we'll see when Willie T decides to sort of push out and move against this. And again, cutting with the workers, I mean, I guess you're staying on the one base for right now, so it's okay. But yeah, okay, now that the factory is down, it is going ahead and resuming that SCV production. So, looks to be an intentional couple of SCV cuts there, but it is a pretty decent Protoss force just sitting outside of the natural with a pretty decent arc here. Now the bio is going to move out. Will the bio be able to handle this or not? Some of the units got cut off by the way that Banana Brain wanted to move in at the same time here. So a few Marines and a medic were lost, but it looks like they're gonna be able to push this back, but the force is a little small now, so it's gonna go ahead and stay back for now and not quite make it to the gates like it did in that game too. The tanks are on the way now, and so is siege mode. I'm a bit surprised with this bio play that Marine range hasn't been researched yet or started. A little bit of shots fired from the high ground there. I think now that siege mode is done, a nice shot there being fired from the high ground tank, causing those Dragoons to sort of spread out a little bit. And now pushing forward with the bio, maybe a little too forward. That tank is kind of far back, but yeah, now the gates are being abandoned here by Banana Brain. Banana Brain, though, this time has its natural setup, so it's not just on the one base. Going to go ahead and charge in after these, and now it looks like actually coming back to flank the Terran army here. There's a few tanks just out in the middle, but choosing not to dive in on them. Those could have been picked off, instead running ahead back to the natural here, which Willie T is going to pressure. Shuttle coming out, but an observatory coming out. So they're okay, now the robotics bay is being started. So this bio is on a clock for its efficiency. The bio getting maybe a little bit far ahead here. The tank's being abandoned by the bio. The Dragoon's able to very quickly dive in on those tanks there. So very unfortunate to lose those, especially when you just have the one factory that can pump tanks at a time, right? Huge loss there on the army by Willie T. But Willie T, determined to stay in this and fight it out, gets its natural up. But a third base is now up and operational for Banana Brain, up to 57 workers to compare to 27 workers for Willie T here. Willie T having to cut SCV production at that natural to get that comsat up. And now has two comsats here. Nice arc being formed by Banana Brain here. That bio push not quite doing as well as it did in game 2. But Willie T sticking with the biomech here. I don't know if there's tank sieged in response to the observer or in response to something seen. Dragoons out here. It looks like maybe a push coming up, but the bio again running out pretty far ahead of the tanks here. Needs to pull back so that tank fire can support them. But the Dragoons are running back, and actually I'm not sure where the Reaver is in the shuttle for Banana Brain. Willie T is taking a third base again, but And let's look at the supply. It's like 80 to 117. I mean, that's not too bad for the Terran, usually. And the tanks being abandoned again. As the buyer runs home, the tanks just sieged up and stayed sieged instead of running back. So, again, the army for Willie T kind of reset. And now Banana Brain trying to dive in here. Loses the shuttle and I think the Reaver that was in it. So yeah, Banana Brain here trying to dive into this natural. There's a Goliath out, but Goliaths really aren't that great against Dragoons. Trying to push this force back, but the tank's just not really in position to fire on these Dragoons. That Bioforce really needs to stay back and like support the tanks as opposed to just rushing ahead on its own. There's another shuttle now, but there's no Reaver, so I'm not sure what would be in it. It does get picked off though. There are a couple of High Templar on the field, which will shred through Bio pretty quickly. Looks like this natural is going to fall, and Banana Brain looking to take this 3-1. Good attempt by Willie T, though, and still in this a bit. This natural command center is going to fall, though. But Banana Brain not quite able to get up this ramp just yet. There are 3 tanks on this high ground shelling down on there, but there is now a Reaver in the shuttle. There's even a carrier now. Ghosts on the way, but I think they're going to be a little bit late, not really be able to do much here. Yeah, now Banana Brain able to get up that ramp into the main here and start cleaning up the main. Looks like the third might not have ever really got to mining minerals. And isn't it lovely how Reavers just can't splash their own team's units, but or their own players' units, but tanks, you know, all Terran splash except for fire bats will hurt your own units. But anyway, I digress. Banana Brain going ahead and taking over the bottom half section of the map while cleaning this up, upset to 70 workers now, which is a very healthy number of workers. Willie T down to 1 worker, not quite so healthy of a number. A lot of High Templar trying to hang out here, storming that SCV in response to it attacking them, but they're like, hey, this is our command center now. Hey guys, why are you firing on this? But yeah, with that, Banana Brain is going to advance to round 2 of the winner's bracket, winning the series 3-1, and Willie T will go down to the loser's bracket to face the loser of the next matchup. So let's go ahead and get into that. And our final series of today, we have back on Icarus for Game 1. Riskoke spawning as the purple Zerg, going for a 4-pull as we can see with no drone being made just yet. And there's the spawning pool. Going up against Dragon spawning as the yellow Terran across the map on the other spawn there, bottom left. And so will Dragon be able to hold the incoming 4-pull? Or will Dragon fall to it? We will see here. It looks like Dragon doing the usual 9 depot, 11 barracks. Getting gas, so going for mech it looks like, which might be a problem here. But the Overlord, or the Drone Scout has confirmed not the top left. I think the Overlord has confirmed not the bottom left. So actually, yeah, the Zerglings are going to get in here, I think, before this... Actually, no, the barracks does finish. I think there will be 1 Marine, but there are just going to be so many Zerglings in here. Will the worker defense work out here? Ooh, very nice blocking, but the first Marine does fall. Dragon has to really minimize the worker deaths here. The second Marine falls. Unfortunately, I don't think... Yeah, Dragon is now down to 1 worker. And it's now out of money to produce workers. Out of workers, there's one. So it's not quite able to hold off the 4-pool here. And now it's just the slow flood of Zerglings here to clean up the main. So yeah, almost held it off. It looked initially like it was going to be like a decent response there, but like, yeah, just the Marines dying and not able to get a higher Marine count than one, and just bled too many workers. And then after enough rounds of Lings coming in, you know, the workers are just all kind of heavily damaged and were quickly taken out by the Zerglings. So nice play there by Chris Cokes. And we will go into Game 2 of this series. For our second game of the final series of today, we have Dragon spawning as the Red Terran in the top right of Fighting Spirit, and Chris Cokes spawning as the Yellow Zerg at the top left of the map. And it looks like we are getting our 4-pool again out of Chris Cokes here, and we've got the Overlord drifting over to the right here, which is the way you want to scout because the natural is there. Looks like I think we're going to get similar build out of Dragon. We'll see if Dragon is able to defend this 4-pool or not. Chris Cokes currently up 1-0 in the series. And the drone scout is heading down to the bottom left base, and I think this Overlord will confirm. Maybe not quite in time. So the Zerglings are out in the map, and this could potentially buy some time. It's hard to tell if this Overlord might have seen this SCV. I think, I don't know, they don't quite know, but the Overlord is backing off. These Zerglings are scouting this top right, and the first Marine had not even been started yet. I think it was trying to get away without getting a Marine. Yeah, already down to 8 workers now. And not able to keep the Marine alive, unfortunately. Down to just the one worker again, and Chris Cokes here will now just clean up the main with the Zerglings, taking a very quick 2-0. This may be the fastest series of the round 1 winners bracket. As the Zerglings will go ahead and be the jumpy little doggos that they are at the rest of the builds here. And as the refinery falls, Chris Cokes goes up 2-0, and we will very quickly get into our third game here. And what might be our first upset of the tournament, with the lower seed having an opportunity to knock out the higher seeded player in round 1 of the winner's bracket. Well, not knock them out, but knock them down to the loser's bracket. We have Dragon spawning as the Orange Terran over in the left base of Tau Cross, fighting to stay alive up against the 4-pulling Chris Cokes. Spawns as the Red Terran down in the bottom right. So this map is just a 3-player map, so the Zerglings will find Dragon a bit faster, and I think the 4-pool has been especially effective against Dragon here, with the skipping of any Marines into that mech play, and the 4-pool just really abuses that greed, right? Because we've got the barracks going, we've got the refinery going, and then just to get that faster factory out, Dragon is going to try and avoid making a Marine, but these Zerglings are already out on the map, making their way to the base. I think the drone has confirmed that that top left right base is abandoned. Now the SCV sees the Zerglings, and at least one Marine is made. Dragon running that Marine up to the Zerglings and then trying to get some shots fired off. Losing a few workers here. Got to keep that worker count decent, but not really pulling enough workers here. The workers trying to do what they can, but already down to 6 of them. And the Marine falls again, doesn't have the minerals to make another Marine. The factory might finish, but unfortunately this game is over already. And with that, Chris Cokes is going to go ahead and move on to round 2 of the winner's bracket. Really abusing the build here of Dragon. with that 4 pool. And Dragon will drop down into the losers bracket round 1 to go up against, I believe, Willie T. But we'll review those brackets in just a moment as this concludes here. And the barracks is going to fall, and then up next will be the last depot, the first and last depot here. And Chris Cokes takes the series 3-0. So after that exciting set of 4 matches there, we saw Monster move on ahead to face Ironbot in round 2 of the winner's bracket. And we will have Banana Brain going up against the 4 pool of Chris Cokes here in round 2. Dropping down to losers round 1, we will have Microwave going up against Purple Wave, and TVT with Willie T going up against Dragon. So looking forward to it. Just taking a quick look here at so I think our next cast, well actually before we look at the winners bracket, our next cast should be the losers round 1, and I think we'll get all 4 of those matchups into that next cast, and then the cast after that will be the winners round 2, where we will see Stardust against Crazy OP, Beta Star up against Halpan, Monster vs Ironbot, and Banana Brain vs Chris Cokes. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here. I hope you all enjoyed the casts and the tournament so far. Go ahead and, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and give a subscribe, so that way you can get notice of when these premieres are going to happen, when new videos get posted, all that good fun stuff. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate the support. Appreciate you hanging around in the chat as well. And until next time, take care everybody.